going to be doing the drip irrigation on the top of our garden beds today, and we thought we'd show you how we do it.
My name's Cara, and my husband Ryan and I have been working on new raised beds in the garden over the last several weeks. We finally have all of our compost in and the cattle panels up for the vertical gardening, so now it's time to do the top of the bed drip irrigation system. One of our goals this year here at Bluebird Homestead is to make our lives a little bit more efficient, and one of the ways that we saw that we could do that was by adding the drip irrigation system. As the saying goes, it either costs you time or it costs you money, and watering last year was definitely a big portion of our time during the summer months, and so we decided to go ahead and make the investment into the drip irrigation system to hopefully make our lives a little bit easier. So let me show you how we did it. In this video, we are going to be going over the drip tape on top of the raised beds and our automatic timer and how we have all that set up. If you want to see how we got water to each individual bed with our PEX system underground and when we trenched our water line, then you could go check out our first video on the drip system. I'll link that in the description box below for you guys.
We divided our garden into two zones because it is a little bit on the larger side, and we wanted to make sure we had enough water pressure to adequately water all of our beds. We have an automatic timer with two outlets for our two separate zones with a backflow preventer, filter, and pressure regulator. The exact needs for your system will vary depending on your beds and your water pressure. So contact Drip Depot for specifics on how to set up your system. Hey, kitty. We haven't buried it yet so we could show you guys, but our PEX line is buried underground and then goes to each of the beds. And from that PEX line, we attached it to a short garden hose, and that's going to attach directly to our system and then attach to our spigot. We used a PEX system underground and put shutoff valves in the corner of every bed. Drip Depot also does sell distribution tubing you could use instead and plastic shutoff valves. We decided personally just to go with the brass ones. And to that shutoff valve, we screwed in a backflow prevention filter. This may be a little overkill, but we just wanted to make sure that no dirt got into our PEX systems. So we put one of these in every bed. The next step is to install a header tube that each of the drip lines will run off of. We just measure and cut it to size.
We use these shark bite cutters. It is kind of important to get your cut straight and make sure it's not at an angle so that the fitting slides on there properly.
And you need to make sure that you leave room for the fittings at the end. At the end of the header tube, we're going to install an end cap. This comes in a couple different variations. This is the one we chose. It's called a Permalock end cap. You can unscrew the end of it to drain the water off for winterizing your system. And then the part that threads into the backflow filter is going to go on the other end.
To attach your fittings to the header tube, you want to make sure the Permalock is all the way threaded back, and then it does take a little bit of force, but you just slide it in there.
And then the Permalock portion of it is you twist this part down to secure the tube.
Then we just attach it to our backflow preventer and our spigot shutoff. We decided to go with a 5/8 inch drip tape that has a 15 millimeter thickness and emitter holes every 6 inches. You need to measure this and just cut it to size for the length of your bed. We then used a barb tubing takeoff adapter to attach the drip tape to the header tube. This comes in a couple different variations as well, but we went with the Permalock one. You just want to make sure that the Permalock portion is threaded down. It can thread both directions as you see, but you want to make sure it's all the way down so that you can fit the tape all the way back as far as it'll go in order to ensure a watertight seal there. So you just slide it into the tape, and then you want to thread the green portion, which is the part that twists, down to lock it onto that tape. And I'll put a link to Drip Depot in the description box where we purchased all of our different supplies from. There's a barb here at the other end, and we purchased a hole punch from Drip Depot specifically for this purpose to punch a hole into our 1/2 inch header tubing. As you can see, it goes through just enough to go through one side, but not all the way through the other side. You just give it a light squeeze and it punches the hole. I do like that this particular hole punch comes with one blue handle and one black handle, so you know which side of the tubing you're pushing the hole in every time. And then you press the barb into that hole, and you'll kind of hear like a little click sound when it's in. So we just measured and figured out how many runs of drip tape we wanted per header tube.
Help me squeeze it? Right here? Squeeze the handle. There you go. We're currently working on our L-shaped bed, so we're going to use an elbow fitting to go around the corner. But if you were doing a straight run, you would do just a normal end cap at the end of the tubing or tape.
The Permalock tape elbow works just like the other fittings, where you slide the tape in and then you screw the green part back down to secure it. And then at the end of every run of tape, you want to add an end cap. They do have a couple different variations for this as well. We went with the Permalock one for easy access to be able to drain it, because it does unscrew at the very back and you can drain out the extra water or blow out your tubing if you have dirt or something clogged up inside of it. From some people I've talked to, the drip tape is supposed to be a little less prone to clogging than the drip tubing. It can, however, only be run in straight lines or at a 90-degree angle with a different fitting, unlike the drip tubing, which can circle around your bed if you needed to.
Let me show you an example of one of the beds that we've already done. We just have the shutoff valve attached to a backflow preventer, the tubing, end cap, secured with a bracket. Then we just used a landscaping staple to secure the end of the tubing. The spacing between each run of your drip tape and how many emitter holes you have is all based on your soil type and also how large your beds are. For our 3-foot wide beds, we decided to go with 2 runs of drip tape, and for each of our 4-foot beds, we decided to do 3 runs of drip tape. And our drip tape has 6-inch emitter holes as well. We purchased all the products that I've shown you guys today from dripdepot.com. We're not sponsored by them at all, but we do have an affiliate link with them, which just means we earn a small commission if you purchase through our link. So we'd greatly appreciate it if you're doing your own drip system to use the link in the description box below.
The system's all set up now, and we turned it on and everything is dripping away. I will say Drip Depot's customer service has been really helpful, and they were really nice and answered all my questions very quickly and promptly if I had any specifics about how to set up the system.
And they also have some free calculators you can use on their website. Thanks for watching. I hope you found that useful if you're making your own drip irrigation system for your own beds. Bye, y'all.